Hello and welcome to Millie White Cooks. You may know this gluten-free cake as a moist vanilla cake or perhaps even a white cake, but if you're a Brit like me, it's unmistakably a Victoria sponge sandwich. Tomato, tomato, let's not call the whole thing off, as it really doesn't matter what name you use. All you need to know is that today's super easy recipe is for a perfect light and moist, gluten-free, vanilla-flecked sponge cake filled with strawberry jam and a wicked white chocolate buttercream frosting. You can find my vanilla cake recipe in my gluten-free and wheat-free easy bread, cakes, bacon and meals cookbook. Links are in the detail box below. We'll start by taking a quick look at the ingredients list, which as always I'll give in both metric and American measurements. You'll need 125 grams of gluten-free plain flour, which is equivalent to 1 cup less 2 tablespoons of all-purpose gluten-free flour. I use Dove's Farm, which is a UK brand, but you can use any gluten-free flour brand that you prefer. This is 25 grams or 4 tablespoons of corn flour or cornstarch, and adding this to the gluten-free flour blend helps make your cake extra light. In this little dish I have 2 teaspoons of gluten-free baking powder and half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda or baking soda, plus another half teaspoon of xanthan gum, which helps strengthen gluten-free cakes, and then a small pinch of salt. Here I have 150 grams of natural caster sugar, or 2/3 of a cup of superfine sugar, plus 150 grams or 1 1/3 sticks of buttermilk spread, plus a little extra for greasing the cake tins. I need 2 free-range eggs, which are size large in the UK or extra large in the US, plus 2 tablespoons of sour cream, which will help keep the sponge cake moist. I'll also need half a teaspoon of glycerin, sometimes called culinary glycerol, and this ingredient also helps keep cakes moist. For the vanilla flavour, I'm going to use the seeds from this vanilla pod, but you could use 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract instead. Later on, for the white chocolate buttercream icing, I'll use 160 grams of icing sugar, which is equivalent to 1 1/3 cups of powdered sugar, along with 55 grams or 2 ounces of white chocolate broken into pieces and melted, plus 80 grams or 5½ tablespoons of buttermilk spread. Finally, I'll add 1/4 teaspoon of really good vanilla extract. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for lots more gluten-free recipes. Now let's get cooking. Start by preheating the oven to 160 degrees Celsius fan, 350 degrees Fahrenheit or gas mark 4. Sift together the gluten-free flour, corn flour, baking powder, baking soda, xanthan gum and salt, which not only removes any lumps but also adds air to help make the cake light and airy. Set this aside. Split the vanilla pod in half lengthwise and scrape out the seeds. Set this aside too. Put the buttermilk spread into the bowl of a stand mixer and sift in the sugar. Turn the machine on to low and start to cream together the fat and sugar. Once they are combined, turn the speed up and continue to beat together for about 5 minutes. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can do this using a handheld beater or even by hand using a metal whisk or wooden spoon. Whatever method you use, you need to keep beating until the mixture is really light and fluffy like this. Next, beat in the glycerin, followed by the vanilla seeds or extract. Then gradually beat in the eggs one at a time. So I've added the first egg and I turn the speed down to low to beat the mixture together. Before adding the second egg, I scrape down the sides of the bowl and beat in just 1 tablespoon of flour to help prevent my mixture from splitting. Then I beat in the second egg. Keep the mixer on low, or if you're mixing by hand, switch to a metal spoon and fold in half of the flour, a tablespoon at a time. Then beat in the sour cream. Finally add the remaining flour, again 1 tablespoon at a time. That looks perfect, but to make sure, use the spatula to scrape down the sides and bottom of the mixing bowl to ensure that everything is well mixed together. Excellent! I've prepared two 15cm or 6-inch cake tins by lightly greasing and flouring the sides. I use these silicone liners for the bases of my cake tins, but you could easily use 2 circles of baking parchment instead. Divide the cake mix evenly between the 2 tins. Can you see where I've smoothed the cake batter out evenly to the sides, but I've made a little dip in the centres? This helps prevent the middle of the cake doming up much higher than the sides when they cook. Pop the tins into the warm oven and bake for 25 to 30 minutes. The cakes are cooked when they are firm to the touch and a skewer inserted into the centre comes out clean like this. Leave them to cool in their tins for 30 minutes, then turn out onto a cooling rack and remove the liners. So my cakes are fully cooled and smell wonderful. Now I'm going to make the white chocolate buttercream. Naughty but so very, very nice as an occasional treat. You can see that I've sifted the icing sugar into a mixing bowl, and I've also melted the white chocolate. I did this in the microwave, just in 10-second bursts to make sure that I didn't burn the chocolate, but I could have also used a heat-proof bowl over a pan of barely simmering water. The chocolate is still melted, but it has cooled down. Add the buttermilk spread to the bowl and use a whisk to slowly mix the sugar and spread together. Once the sugar has fully dissolved into the fat, beat on a higher speed for several minutes. Until it's lovely, light and fluffy. Turn the mixer down to low and add the vanilla extract, then add the melted chocolate and beat to mix. Try to get your chocolate all in the bowl and not down the mixer like me. Once I'd beaten in all the melted chocolate, I gave the bowl a scrape down the sides with a spatula, followed by one last whisk together. Can you see how light and airy my mixture is? Now I've popped one of the cakes, top side down, onto a cake stand that I'd covered with 3 pieces of greaseproof paper. I spread over 2 tablespoons of delicious strawberry jam, taking care to get it right up to the edges. Then I dolloped on just under half of the buttercream and spread it over the cake. My offset spatula is useful for this job. Now I decided this wasn't quite enough, so on went another dollop, which I hope you realise is a very precise measurement, and then I thought it looked mighty fine. So I popped on the second cake layer, again bottom side up, and I just used my spatula to spread the buttercream up between the 2 cakes. I'm not actually using a cake turntable, I simply turned the cake stand around as I worked. Now I just needed to adjust the camera angle so you can see the top. I dolloped the remaining buttercream onto the cake and then spread this out too, using my offset spatula for an even finish. Whilst I do this, can I ask, if you've enjoyed this video, would you give it a thumbs up and perhaps subscribe to my channel too? So let's just remove the greaseproof paper from the base and the cake will be ready to serve. Do let me know in the comments if you bake this cake, or if you'd like to see a video of any other of my recipes. And here's the finished cake, just waiting to be enjoyed with a fresh pot of tea and some girly gossip. I so hope you'll now want to watch more of my cooking videos in my gluten-free cooking series, like these ones here. This recipe is from my gluten-free and wheat-free Easy Bread, Cakes, Baking and Meals cookbook, available as a paperback or Kindle book from Amazon, or as an ebook from iBooks, Nook or Kobo. Thank you so much for your company, and bye for now.